If I could have pro shots of any 10 Broadway shows in the world, what would they be and why? Hi friends, if you're new here, my name is Katharine Quinn. I am a 30-something living in New York City and working on Broadway. Last year I worked on Shucked and How to Dance in Ohio. This year I am working on The Great Gatsby as well as some other projects. TBD, as always, the vlog fam is going to be the first to know. I have been asked this question several times. I am a giant advocate for live streaming theater, digital theater experiences, whether they're Q&As, live stream experiences, and also pro shots. I thought that the Waitress pro shot was a huge, monumental success. You can see my whole video about it right up here. For the purposes of this exercise, I am using some shows that have already closed, but every show has premiered on Broadway since 2007, so an era where a pro shot would be a legit viable option. Now, we do have pro shots dating back to what, the 80s, like Into the Woods. Was that a pro shot? I think that was a pro shot. We have had pro shots for many, 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 many years. It's a very expensive endeavor, in case you don't know, but on this list of 10, 2 shows are currently running on Broadway, and 1 is going to be on Broadway probably within the next year or so. So if you're a producer of one of those shows, just like, you know, like, I'm kidding, but like, not really. Okay, great. Coming in at number 10, Light in the Piazza with Kelly O'Hara and Victoria Clark. Y'all, I did not see this when it was on Broadway. Every single video I have seen is absolute catnip. I've not seen a slime tutorial. If you have access to one, maybe send it my way. Listen, institutional Katharine is fighting with your friend Katharine currently, which is to say, I understand and appreciate the role Broadway slime plays in a Broadway show. Anyone under the age of 35 and working on Broadway understands. I would love for there to be more ethical. That's one of the reasons why I am an advocate for live streaming and pro shots, because I want actors to be paid for the additional usage that a Broadway slime video tutorial is taking advantage of. And if you're not aware of what Broadway slime is, it's just colloquial language for a cowboy shoe and the part of my body that my knee is on. Cool? At any rate, I think that people all across the world deserve to see Broadway. They deserve to have Broadway experiences, whether or not they're able to come visit New York City in person. I think that there is a way, a financial model that could behoove both the productions and the general public and not make Broadway quite so insular, but I'm not gonna do a whole soapbox here. I've got that in plenty of other videos. So let's get back to Light in the Piazza. I'm wondering if I would recast any of the roles. I'm gonna say we're not gonna address that just because all of those actors are living and we don't want to piss anyone off. And also, they're all wonderful, and I didn't see it, so maybe everyone was perfect. Victoria Clark, won a Tony for this role, and her first of 2. She is an alma mater of my high school, the Hockaday School. It's not just a high school, I went from 7th to 12th. But anyway, as a fellow Hockadaisy, our mascot was a daisy. Our sports teams were like the Killer Daisies. You know, all-girl school. What are you gonna do? I've listened to the recording ad nauseum. I've seen every single clip that I can possibly find on the internet. We'll insert one here.
On a central square in a city of the sun rose a palace.
It's magical. It's magical. A gorgeously shot production. I want it. Now is a good time to talk about the Lincoln Center Performing Arts Library. You are able to go view classic Broadway shows dating back decades and decades and decades at the Lincoln Center Library for the Performing Arts. You go in, you request a time, you request what show that you want to see. You cannot have your devices on you. You cannot film the archival recordings. And there's a literal library where they will put like a VHS cassette tape and pop that baby right in there, and you hear the worry, and you've got your headphones on and you're in a room full of other people at old-timey stations watching this footage. It's actually a pretty magical experience, but again, I don't think that that should only be available to people living in New York City. I should go watch The Light in the Piazza, then it's not the same as a pro shot. Okay, I was gonna say that. Let's move along to number 9. Number 9 is The Color Purple with Cynthia Erivo. I did see this, and I can't get enough. I know there's a Color Purple film. I love the Color Purple musical. I'm glad there's a Color Purple film. The Color Purple film was not a successful movie musical for me. I know. Lots of people disagree, and that's the beauty of art, and that is great. I think Fantasia is incredibly talented and wonderful. I thought a lot of things in the movie were really great. However, that revival, 2017? Cynthia Erivo singing I'm Here. Clip. But her entire performance. That was like a revelatory Broadway performance that I would like to watch. And her strut after singing that, I've watched that YouTube video, I can't even tell you how many times. If I really wanted to like have a good cry, it's the nice 34-year-old white lady version of saying in my feels, I would just put that on. Let's move along to number 8, the Deaf West production of Spring Awakening. So this was the Spring Awakening revival that happened in 2014, I believe, with Deaf West. The cast was a mix of hearing and non-hearing actors. I heard nothing but glorious, magical things. I was not in the city at the time. It is one of my biggest regrets that I did not see this production. I'll put a clip here.
Mama who bore me, Mama who gave me.
Every clip that I've seen, like Spring Awakening was already such a transformative, it was a pivotal show for me and my coming of age story. It was like the it musical of its time. I believe it continues to be relevant. The internet has changed some things. But anyway, I love that show. I wish I had seen that production. And for that reason, I would love a pro shot of Deaf West's Spring Awakening revival. Number 7. Okay, hot take, hot take, hot take. You ready? I gotta get his name right. I would like a pro shot of the current revival of Sweeney Todd with Nicholas Christopher as Sweeney. I missed it. I saw Josh Groban and Annalee Ashford. Josh sounded incredible. It was my first time seeing Sweeney Todd on stage ever. I loved the movie of Sweeney Todd. I know, I didn't know any better. And listen, it's aesthetically really cool, and I love Tim Burton and Helena Bonham Carter, and like, what are you gonna do? I love Sweeney, and I have yet to see like the Sweeney of my dreams, and I hear that Nicholas Christopher might be the Sweeney of my dreams, and therefore I humbly request a pro shot. This is full fantasy. Obviously, this is not going to be happening, but listen, a girl can dream. Who is your Sweeney? As of the time of this recording, last night was Aaron Tveit's debut, and clips are circulating widely, and a lot of the comments under there are saying really nice things about Nicholas Christopher, which is one of the reasons that is compelling me to make this, and I wish I'd seen it. Coming in at number 6. This is one that is coming to Broadway, probably. It hasn't been announced. I don't have any inside tea. Next to Normal, starring Casey Levy, which is currently having a West End, or is about to have a West End revival of the Donmar Warehouse production that I did have a chance to see. I'll link my thoughts right up here. Spoiler, loved it. I love Casey Levy. What a time. What a time that we live in, that we get to watch Casey Levy grow into the grand dames of Broadway. We are the luckiest people in the world. It's impossible to overstate how, I just got chills, how flawless her I Miss the Mountains is. Okay, I'm a giant Next to Normal stan. Mental illness is like a special interest of mine. It's really great. I saw Alice Ripley twice. I saw Marin Maisie, rest in peace, once. I loved the show. I loved the original production, and I love this revival, especially because I love Casey Levy. The whole cast was really phenomenal. Gabe was also really, really spectacular, and I hope that he transfers when it comes to Broadway. Casey Levy is an American actress. I can only assume that it has Broadway hopes, and I can't wait for that. But that's another one that should be filmed and should exist. Next to Normal lends itself. Can't you clearly see how that would be just like a perfect film? It's a perfect film. So anyway, that's my wish list of something coming to Broadway, probably. Coming in at number 5, A Strange Loop. To the best of my understanding, A Strange Loop has been recorded on the West End. So we will, I think, I'll confirm this, but I'm pretty sure we are getting A Strange Loop pro shot. I would have loved A Strange Loop pro shot from Broadway, or honestly, I also loved it off-Broadway. Off-Broadway was my first experience with it, and not to be like I saw Hamilton in the public, because I didn't. I don't know if it was because it was a smaller space, or I don't love the Lyceum Theater, or it was just my first encounter with the material. I had a much more visceral reaction to the off-Broadway production than the Broadway production, but also the Broadway production was fantastic and deserved every accolade it got, and I love the show. And I would love a pro shot of it, but are we getting one? Find out. Coming in at number 4. This is probably the biggest duh. Hadestown. Hadestown and I have a strange relationship. I feel like what I'm about to say, institutional Katharine. These are my shoulder angel and devils, except it's like institutional Broadway Katharine and like artist Katharine. And sometimes they're like, me. It's like constantly deciding how diplomatic I should be, which is to say probably very. Here's the thing. The first time I saw Hadestown, it wasn't for me. I could recognize it as a great piece of theater, but it didn't land on me in any real way. People around me sobbing. As an autistic person, that is an experience that I've had so many times in theater, so many times in life, where I feel like everyone is having a polar opposite reaction to the reaction that I'm having. And that was a show that left me kind of cold, and everyone around me, my ex-boyfriend, boyfriend at the time, included. And I was just like, it makes me feel, it's like a FOMO, because I want to have that deep, why, of course, we go to the theater because we want that experience. And all these people had that experience, and I was just like, then something happened. Well, I dated one of the producers, and so then I got to see it a few times. I don't really know. I mean, maybe that was part of it. So at some point over the course of Shutdown, I listened to it ad nauseum so many times, and then I became obsessed with the recording. I still never had the experience at the end of the show that I wanted to. I like feel like I'm too autistic for Hadestown. Like, spoilers, but like, we know how it ends, and that's the point, right? But like, if you tell an autistic person, like, I do think quite literally, and if you tell me it's a sad song, like, I just wasn't surprised when he turned around. I'm never surprised when he turns around. People gasp in the audience, and I'm like, we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. We knew that was part of it. And like, I am so jealous of the people who get swept away in the show, and every time Orpheus turns around and I hear the gasps, I'm like, I want that. And I don't know how to have that experience. In spite of this, Hadestown is an album that I will listen to forever and ever and ever and ever. I'm now working with Queen Eva. She's the best. Her voice is insane. I also loved Saleya Pfeiffer. I will listen to it forever. So that's like a pro shot that I would have running as I was like cleaning the house, and then just stop to be like, oh, this is beautiful, and then keep listening. You know, I'm gonna do that with Waitress. I'm excited. Coming in at number 3, Fun Home original cast, please. Small Al is now Big Al. You know, Small Al is, what is that child's name? She won a Tony. She was nominated for a Tony. What's her name? Sydney Lucas. Didn't even get to look it up. She's 20. I don't think she can be Small Al anymore. She could be Middle Al. She could change her major to Joan. Anyway, I love Fun Home, truly, madly, deeply. That's another one that should be made into a film. Okay, that's an interesting question. Would I rather have a film, like a feature, like Shucked? Getting a feature is so fascinating to me. I'm very curious how that will pan out. Fun Home, I might even rather have, I want a pro shot of Next to Normal, and I want a feature of Fun Home. Please let me know your thoughts. Coming in at number 2. If you've known me for any period of time, you know I was obsessed with the revival of Hello Dolly. I saw all the Dollys. I saw Bette Midler twice, I saw Donna Murphy once, and I saw Bernadette Peters once. I loved all of them. Who was the best one? I don't know who said anything just now. Not me. Literally, they're all incredible. And I would take a pro shot with any of them, but mostly I would love a pro shot with Donna Murphy. I would also be interested in one with Bernadette Peters. You could do a Clue situation where it's like, we get through the film and then it's like, do you want to choose a different Dolly Levi? And then you get to click and have a different experience. Wouldn't that be fun? Now listen, if we were live streaming theater and we could go back in time, this is a lot of ifs. We could live stream the standby nights and see Donna Murphy on standby night and then or alternate night, and then get to watch Bette or Bernadette the other nights. I'm just saying, what a great thing that would be. That production was perfect. I've talked about it in previous videos. I will talk about it forever. I love Hello Dolly. I love the wisdom and the cynicism of a middle-aged woman who has lived and is talking to us about it. I love it. Also, Kate Baldwin singing that score was like pretty amazing. And the music direction and the dancing. Oh my god. But I need like Charlie Stemp in there. Wait, but I love Taylor Trench. We can't go wrong. Okay, coming in at number 1. My favorite show that I think I've ever seen to date is Gypsy, starring Patti LuPone and Laura Benanti. I loved that revival so much. It was right when I was deciding to pursue theater that it was going to be like my life. I shouldn't do that because now smoking is like back in style. Don't do it, kids. I loved Gypsy. I'm not saying that the dressing room scene is on YouTube, but the dressing room scene might be on YouTube with Laura Benanti and Patti LuPone, and I may or may not have it memorized to the point where I know the person filming that slime lets out a huge exhale after Laura Benanti says, I love it. Again, we would not have to have such slime if we had a pro shot. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Democratize theater. Okay, my friends, those are my top 10 pro shots that I would like to have of Broadway shows. I want to know what pro shots you want of Broadway shows, off-Broadway shows. Hit me with some deep cuts. Hit me with your best shot. This is really fun. It was a fun list. Let's do this again. Should I do one that's like, what would I like to become a movie musical, even though clearly Hollywood does not know what to do with movie musicals, even though they perform really well? Let me know your thoughts down below. As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, click the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. It's the surest way to let the YouTube algorithm know which wonderful people to push this video out to. Wonderful humans like yourself. It really, really means a lot. As always, I invite you to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at It's Katharine Quinn. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.